Streaming across the internet, playing the best music. This is Chorley Hospital Radio.
This is the home of great music. It's Chorley Hospital Radio on a Tuesday evening. It's the Big Request Show. Myself, JT, John Taylor. It's a pleasure to have your company.
Well, you are listening to Chorley Hospital Radio, your companion by your bedside. My name's Alan Robinson, and I'm going to be taking you through the next hour of the show.
It's 9 o'clock, and you're listening to Blues with Mel.
Good evening and welcome to the Sensational 70s Show.
Hello, you're listening to Chorley Hospital Radio with me, Jill Hardiker, here on the Retro Hits and Headlines Show.
In 1968, the station first started broadcasting. It was opened by Jack Douglas from the Carry On films and our former chairman, Ina Montgomery, who's no longer with us now. She started the station back in 1968, and it opened in a prefab building in the grounds of the hospital back then. In 2001, we had to make way for the expansion of the hospital grounds and new buildings being built in the hospital. And then we was offered a room or a couple of rooms in the hospital itself. A purpose-built studio, soundproofed, and we moved in there in 2001.
Chorley Hospital Radio is like one big happy family. Broadcasting to the patients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. We just have a big variety of music that entertains our patients in Chorley Hospital, but we're also able to entertain people outside the hospital.
How would I describe Chorley Hospital Radio? Describe it as a service to the patients inside the hospital, a bit of comfort, and a fantastic place to work.
It's a necessary thing for the patients. I don't know if you've ever been in hospital, but I have. It's the loneliest place in the world if you're in there. So it's the only company half the time you're going to get.
Well, I chose to get involved at CHR because it's been something that had been nagging away at me for a number of years, and I've been involved in other things, in rock bands, and it seemed a way of being able to do something that would be enjoyable and challenging, but hopefully a benefit to some other people.
I'd already done some work at another station, and that had sort of come to its natural conclusion, and I'd heard about hospital radio a few years previous, but I didn't really know a great deal about it until then, and I just thought it was such a wonderful, fantastic thing that, you know, I know if I was in hospital I would listen to the radio, because I'm a big radio fan, so I thought it was a really good thing to get involved with, so that's why I got involved with it, really, because of the good work it does.
I think you should get involved because I think that we're a good team and everybody gets on really well, and but also you're doing something for people who are in the most vulnerable time of their lives, aren't they? So if they're in hospital and they're not well and they're feeling a bit down and they're feeling very vulnerable and they listen to the radio, and if they're into music, which I am, it really gives you a big lift when you listen to something that you enjoy listening to. So that's the reason.
Just working within the hospital. You know, we see people of all ages, all different people, and you get talking about radio and about music, and they light up because everybody has musical milestones. So you can see them and they'll go, "Oh yeah, what about so and so?" And you have to go, "Yeah," and it could be somebody from 40 or 50 years ago that they heard, you know, when they were much younger. And it gives them a fantastic buzz. I'm all happy because they've got that, and that person, you know, we leave them with a smile on their face. Brilliant. It's, you know, it covers everything. For me, it covers everything.
I think somebody should get involved in CHR, mainly because it's a good opportunity, it's a good learning ground if you want to get into media, but we're not only just here for media, but we're here for people that have a little bit of spare time on their hands and would like to get involved. There's not just presenting, there's ward walking, and there's behind the scenes as well, so there's plenty to do in the studio and hospital radio itself.
Are you thinking of joining on Chorley Hospital Radio? Well, I can't tell you, you should. It's just something that's really special, being able to help people and also giving back something to the community.
I think it's very important. I think a lot of people also spend, when they are in hospital, spend a lot of time on their own. Even when you have visitors, obviously they're not always going to be coming every day, so I think it's and one of our strap lines is companion by your bedside, and I think that's exactly what it is. and also because we now stream as well, we've been streaming for a while, we can reach out to places in the hospital that previously you couldn't get via the internal system. So yeah, I think it's like I said, a companion by your bedside, really. It's a friend there to keep you company and, you know, help you pass some of the time while you're here.
Best thing about volunteering at CHR, it's just a good radio station, good presenters, a good team, and it's a social thing as well, even though we don't see a lot of each other, but we cross over as presenters, and it's just a big happy family.
The best thing about volunteering at CHR is, well, we're just one big happy family. We're able to come together, play music and make people feel better while they're staying in hospital, but also we're a lifeline to people and they can keep in touch with people outside the hospital as well.
It's ward walking, which is basically gathering the requests for the various shows during the week. I do ward walking on a Tuesday for the show that goes out in the evening. So it's basically going into the wards, talking to the patients, and that's twofold. Hopefully we'll get a request. Some of them, you know, may not be particularly interested, but for me the big thing is seeing them open up. Especially some of the elderly patients will, you know, their mind will go back to the 1940s or something, you know, their first dance and somebody that they listened to, you know, with a husband and whatever, and you can see the pleasure they get from that even before you come back and play that record. So that's quite important.
It's a way to talk to the patients, whether they have visitors or not. Quite often we do ward walk when it's not visiting time, just before visiting time, before the visitors come in, to get the requests. And they gave us requests of different types of music, again, anything from 60s, 30s in fact sometimes, to present day. And we have a wide choice, a big selection, which they like to play for, and then quite often put requests on for the staff as well.
A request show is very important at Chorley Hospital Radio, mainly because it's communication between the studio itself and to the patient as well. We have volunteers that go around the wards and collect the requests, and then they'll come back with a request, and then our presenters will play them down to the wards and put a smile on the patients' faces.
The thing about Chorley Hospital Radio is, the special thing is our request shows. We have request shows running right through the week. We have our dedicated ward workers who visit our patients and collect requests. So it's really important that we have these request shows and that we can connect with the patients and they can hear their favourite music and lift the spirits. We can also have people get in touch outside the hospital, which makes this, the request show special as well, because they can send dedications into the patients that are staying in the hospital.
Patients can listen through their headsets on the Orthopedia system at the bedside. You can also listen via our internet or via our website on www.chrweb.org.uk, and we also have an app on Android and on Apple.
Feel good favourites from yesterday and today. CHR is your station. Chorley Hospital Radio.